day 2.
Let play commence. It'll be Barbara to serve. Good lob there to start with. Nice block volley there.
That was a good, long opening
15 lob.
Just kept it going, didn't they? Were quite happy to keep it, send it long, look for the lob. And in the end, Andrea
The first
Ustero.
lesson to learn in paddle is minimise unforced errors.
Yeah. First service.
Stay deep there. Sanchez and Ustero. Yeah, that's well played.
15 all.
That's one of the shots that, even though it goes to the backhand side, it's for the play on the forehand side to retrieve, because you're running towards the ball. Instead of running after the ball, you run towards one glass wall, then to another.
Got a little bit lucky there. Polo went for the winner, but
15-30.
well, in the end, the point is for Sanchez and Andrea Ustero. Doesn't get it over the net to Barbara Las Heras.
You can see Ustero just slicing that ball up, using the lob, just getting back into position after every shot. You don't want to stand too near the back glass.
Don't want to leave yourself open to the drop shot. We bounced up a bit nasty off the back glass there, and
That was arrowed
15
towards her opponent, not intentionally.
yeah, got a little bit lucky there because I think it might have gone out otherwise. But 3 break points to get us underway. 15-40. A little breakdown in communication
I
there.
mean, you get that when, of course, you just
New
started.
York athletes. First game.
Great area to hit the ball is down the middle. Down the middle, it's a safe option. It's also very often the winning option, because players sometimes are not too sure. Is it on your strong side? Is it your weak side? And as soon as you see somebody take a tiny step towards the shot, you kind of pull out, and the other person sees you move, and they also pull out.
I think as well, even more so in Pro Padel League, because we have our partnerships that are not regular. So because obviously it's a team event, which makes it unique in paddle. But
And unique, Paul, you were saying, because at the Cities Cup, we didn't see one 6-love set.
No.
Not one single set, because games are more competitive.
Andrea Sanchez to serve.
Sanchez serving. That's a good.
Really good return also. Now we're seeing how a lob could be used as an attacking shot. Estamos dos atrás. Good call there from Ustero. So important, the communication during the point. A lot of times you're not looking at your opponents. Like now.
Don't think that's going to have the legs on it, so 15 love.
Now, a shot we saw on this rally that you will see often, not as often as the lob, is the bandeja, which literal translation is a tray. So you imagine
A waiter carrying a tray of drinks.
And not dropping the drinks, and just bringing it down to the table. That kind of twisting, slow action is a really good shot. It could be a defensive, sometimes an attacking shot.
It's also just to keep the ball alive shot. That's a unlucky. Good return though from
30 love.
Ustero. Recovered that after the ball dropped badly off the net court.
Didn't have much room to
I'm
remove.
not sure if she was trying to put that over or put it round there. It's one of those maybe just got a little bit in two minds. Good lob. She's going to get a bajada here.
Again, down the middle. Down the middle.
40 love.
So a positive start from, say, one of the absolute top pairings in Pro Padel League.
And you just see that lacing up the sneakers. You get 20 seconds, and sometimes a little break can do you a world of good. Very attacking.
Yeah,
Look at Atlantics, they're dominating the net.
more aggressive, aren't they? But I think we're expecting that though, weren't we?
Again, down the middle. Again, that is the fourth shot
Game. New York Atlantis.
down the middle.
They
The fourth
lead
shot they've
2
won
games to love.
down the middle. Now they've got to improve that communication. Now, normally the player, where the middle is on their forehand side, should be the one stepping in
Julia
the way.
Polo
Sometimes
to
you have two
serve.
players, and it's their forehand side. But you've got to make a decision. Might be the coach, when they switch ends, who just tell his players, look, this is what we need to do going forward.
15 love.
Looking for a really difficult angle there, Ustero. So 15 love. Little mistake on the volley there.
15 all.
Into the net.
Great technique, Addy, with that single-handed backhand. Also hit with a bit of top spin as well, which you don't see too much of. You do on the smash, but not on ground shots. Las dos, both players had come forward.
Good lob from Barbara Heras. And another little
That's
mistake
the
on the
first,
volley.
I think that's the first real
30-15.
unforced error. Ustero.
So 30-15. Ah, well played, clever, disguised it.
Yeah, I
40,
think the
15.
return straight away. You kind of a sitting duck, and Ustero took the gamble to attack the player volleying in case she went for the big hit, and then she's near the net to get it back off the glass.
We did leave that space though for what would have been just a little dink down the middle.
Brilliant top
Yeah.
spin smash, brilliant.
First one out of the court today.
40-30.
You can see she was winding up. The way she arched her back, the grip, and the top spin. I mean,
Takes it out in a very
Perfect
little space,
execution.
doesn't it? Takes it out in very little space.
Net. First service.
Clips the net.
just like tennis, of course, you get two serves. Let the scoring system also the same. The set also the same. Main difference is the golden point that we see here in the PPL.
Just in. Good lob. And this time,
Game.
once again,
Los
she was
Angeles
looking to
lead.
put it down the middle,
New
Harry,
York Atlantis
but
lead
into the net.
2
So
games to
first
1.
game for
Julia Polo and Barbara.
Heras.
Good, I'm glad, because 3-0.
And 2 breaks as well.
You'll be struggling against Andrea and Sanchez. And I think now the coach will be telling his players, okay, shots down the middle. We've lost 4, but we've actually lost more than 4 because there have been 4 winners down the middle, plus the shots that are down the middle where we're not too sure we've returned. It's not a great return, and it sets them up for a win on the next shot.
I mean, even in that shot, you just saw there was a little, a little avenue there that if she'd actually got the contact she'd wanted there, Harry. 2 minute between games, every two games. Just a little chance to take any grease stains off the glass, which might
We
have.
can just see in the background Pablo hot that blue top. They were really taking the ping pong seriously. On media day yesterday morning, there were screams and shouts as a tennis table out the back, and it was fully booked throughout the day.
It was indeed, when they could get you off. Have a look, there's lots of stuff on social media, on Twitter, Instagram.
The backstage stuff and
very impressive.
the making of, and especially the photo session. It was brilliant. It was great to see. I think the players had a great time too. They were all here yesterday, different teams. Organised also.
It's the closest I've ever been to an influencer in my life.
Winds up again. Whoa, another. It's the top spin, because as soon as that hits the back glass, it
just goes.
Yeah, the pace and height, the kick. And we were saying it isn't a fast surface.
Very low.
Does make a difference where obviously where matches are played, and here we are sea level. You know, if you play somewhere like Madrid, which is 600 meters
Highest
above
capital city in Europe.
We're going to get
There's a fact you never need.
It's very useful. Oh, just long.
But the Ustero and Guadalajara. Wow, that's in Mexico.
1,500 meters.
That's going to be a very quick court. Of course, is coming up. This event will finish on Sunday. Then we've got, of course, in July, San Sebastian, 10th to the 13th. Then it's Guadalajara, mid-August, 14th to the 17th.
Oh, once again, she gets enough on it.
Game New York Atlantics. Daily 3 games to 1.
Just quickly finish off the calendar. 30th of August, 1st of September. All-Star Festival, the Hamptons, USA. October 16th, 19th, New York, the Cities Cup.
Okay, Barbara serving for a second time. 3-1. And Julia Polo trail.
Really good pickups there, Ustero. Tough cookie. Do you see how she changed the grip on her racket there? Just to spoon it back over the net. There.
So just waving.
Not sending the ball to Ari. She said one shot in this rally.
And again, does well though, instead of getting across.
Still one shot in this rally. Congelador or freezer is a term often used.
So again, another good lob there from Barbara. Ari looks to drive it through the middle. Just able to put them back under pressure.
Longest rally.
Once
of
again,
this opening set.
I think that maybe that could have been Polo's ball. She went there, didn't she? What you're saying about the forehand, that probably her ball.
As soon at this level, as soon as a player is pulled out of position,
she sort of goes for it.
There you can see that. 2 little steps. And also, your doubles partner doesn't hit because they're not too sure.
Yep.
Do I have to move back across the other side of the court to cover you? Are you going to get there? They don't prepare fully for the shot. The racket's not back. The foot placement isn't correct. The weight isn't on the right foot.
Good lob. Once again, they're straight up to the net. And
oh, you see how important it is, even at full stretch, to reach for that ball instead of
beautiful shot.
Yeah, to not lose control of the net. Credit, of course, the winner was Adi, but credit to Andrea Ustero because it was her who kept them at the net. So important. I know you can win points with good ground shots, but you will start playing at a level where you need to be at the net as much as possible.
Someone's got a bit of pressure on the serve. Love 30. Second serve. Well, 2 great defensive volleys there by Barbara.
Stood up well, stood at ground. Also important when you're at the net. Sometimes you hit that first volley and you just take a step back, almost like defensively, and then you take another step back. She didn't. She stood firm, stayed, held a position, and won the point.
And controlled it as well.
Because you take a couple of steps back, you're in no man's land. And you get a ball down at your feet, and it's point over.
Polo does opt to hit it on the forehand. And they get the point. 30-all.
30 all.
Addy just apologises quickly to Ustero because she knew that she had a volley and the return was just too high. And then they lost the advantage in that point that they had won with 3 or 4 really good shots prior to that weaker volley.
Oh, yes.
Ouch. Ouch.
34.
That one will sting because it was a massive, massive point.
Because they'd basically worked the chance to take the point.
And she was in the right place, right over the net. Probably looking back with hindsight, should have gone for a winner. Allow that to drop too low.
Use golden
She'll
ball.
watch that again and see that ball drop too low.
Andrea Sanchez
Still
to
under the
receive.
break point, though. Golden point. Couldn't get that one up off the back of the court, so 4
New
games to 1 and
York
2 breaks
They
to the
lead
good.
4 games to 1.
Looking good in this first set, it has to be said, for Ari Sanchez and Andrea Ustero.
Just seeing Seba there, former player, bit of a legend in Padel. Also works as a coach for several players, some of the best players in Padel. Also head coach of New York. And watch it dropped really low.
Once again, maybe there's that little bit of space as well between them.
It's difficult though, it's difficult because, I mean, when you play at the level that Addy has been playing and for so long, and also Andrea Ustero, who's top 10, and you're playing against, you know, Julia, for example, who is a good player, but hasn't yet broken into the top 25. And Barbara, who was saying earlier, if you were listening, or if you're joining us now, you'll find out, has missed a year of competition.
Yeah.
And it's not about being, okay, I'm fit. Yeah, but are you match fit? Can you play competitively 2-3 sets? That takes time. That takes games, tournaments, before you think, okay, I'm fully...
It's getting the rhythm back, isn't it? It's getting the rhythm back and being able to sort of get into a run of 1, 2, 3 consecutive wins. That's the big issue. You can win a match, but can you then go on? But it's always very difficult because you tend to get the top-ranked players in the earlier rounds.
And like Salazar, for example, you know, Alejandro Salazar, top 3, top 4 in the world, also suffered an injury, had an operation, a shoulder injury, and has been playing tournaments, has been playing well, but still isn't probably as good as she was before that injury.
Ari Sanchez serving to Barbara Las Heras, 4-1 to the good.
Winding up for that, yeah.
Yep.
Again, it's the lob slightly short, but credit to Andrea again. She's not missed. She's missed 1 of, I think, 6 smashes so far in this first set. 5 winners and 1 into the net.
And once again, the serves got them at the net.
6 winners, 1 into the net. It's a pretty decent percentage.
Once again, the lob.
I'll leave that to you.
Lob was a wee bit. No, I failed mass. The lob was a wee bit short. That's why I try, when we look at the calculations for the percentage of points, sets and everything, I'm always oh dear.
That's a deft touch, Addy.
Once again, Ari Sanchez just racing through her service game.
It was an interesting switch from Miami, losing finalist in the mixed doubles last season, to New York. I think it's a good... I think both teams would be happy with their trade.
Game New York Atlantis. They lead 5 games to 1.
5-1. It's been a very, very efficient start, hasn't it? Once again, quickly into the net, Sanchez and Ustero. And
Boom.
And
I think
Love 15.
that's my favourite so far. It's just, I mean, it's effortless. You know, there's no struggles. It's smooth. The technique is perfect. And that smash was quite deep. Not behind the service line, but it was deep. And also, Andrea's not the tallest of players.
but none of the players actually are that tall, are they? I think Barbara's 161.
15 all.
Get out your measuring stick.
I know, I've got my notes, but because our commentary position is quite dark, I can't really read. I can't read them.
Right, I get a torch.
Okay, Julia Polo's 167, 1 meter 67, and Barbara Usttero's 161.
15
Ustero is 170, so.
Ooh, that's
it just-
back-to-back smashes into the net.
30 all.
30 all.
Still smiling. I mean, you're kind of in that zone where you're cruising and you think, okay, we can actually afford to make a few unforced errors.
It's never a
Gotta
good
be
habit.
careful, though.
Never a good habit to get into.
Got to be careful. Yesterday we saw a doubles team who were really good in the first set. They won that first set and they ended up losing the Toronto Polar Bears. So overconfidence in any sport isn't good. I'm sure so with the coach, making sure his players get this done as quickly as possible.
Just in. Bounced up awkwardly as well for Julia Polo.
What a great pickup. Look at that. And again.
Does really well.
And just lost sight of the ball, and they somehow managed to stay in that point and take the game.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there to Ari, though, because it looked as if she had the ball.
Bit of a swipe. I think just sometimes for a split second you think, okay, where are my opponents? Because she hit two really good shots off the fence. Okay, I'm going to try and mix things up a little. And that moment of, and just lost sight of the ball. Just lost sight of the ball.
Or Abadar was mosquito.
Fly swatting, yeah.
Let's have a look again. So she just really well to recover that one, Julia Polo,
and this was even better. This, I thought, look at that. Suddenly, you've got to shift your body. It was head high. And yeah, I think just even she turned around, what happened?
That shot gives us all hope.
So you think, we were just saying, two simple smashes into the net, and then a mistake. So that's 3 points, and you've lost the game. Now, not the end of the world. I'm still confident they'll take this first set. But if they start improving on their service game as well, and they break again, suddenly this first set could be a lot tighter.
They've got to break now, though, haven't they? Otherwise,
yes,
set over.
But if you look at the last couple of games, and I think those kind of early nerves have disappeared, and I also think that the coach has got that message across, because we've not seen that
hesitancy.
Yeah, especially with the shots down the middle. Was it the corridor of uncertainty?
It is indeed. Serves its worth valuable for cricket or paddle. The corridor of uncertainty. Different meanings, perhaps, but slightly different meanings. Should I play it? Should I not play it?
$50 love.
Once again, Ustero and Sanchez dominating the net. And in the end, just forcing the winners. Barbara couldn't get it back off the back of the court. Once again, just aggressive.
30-15.
Wow. Well, she gets to get it back really well there. But once again, they just can't dislodge them from the
Still,
net.
they're playing much better. They're playing much better.
40-15.
We're seeing Adi having to dig in, and they're having to dig in a bit more. They're asking more questions.
But 3 set points nonetheless. Looks at the point, as you say, when you get to a new stage, a new set, and just have that little mental reset. Again, just mistimes it.
40-30.
Keep going, she says.
Just really low to get that one out.
Just angling it towards the corners there. Sanchez, good lob from Barbara.
That's got some effect on that.
That's a nice return again.
Great play there. That was
Ah,
all
well
about
played.
Barbara's volley first.
Yeah.
Deuce, golden point.
Well, a golden point, so a chance to get back into this first set. Still set point, though.
Still set point, but we might be talking again about those missed smashes
Barbara Las Heras,
2
red.
games ago.
Barbara to receive.
Down the middle.
Wow.
Down the middle. No, we knew. They knew maybe.
Game and first set.
Still a great shot.
Great backhand,
Well,
wasn't it? I
they
mean,
win.
she does hit that tremendously
6
well.
games
And she
to
didn't
0.
actually hit it as hard as I've seen her hit it
But
on occasion.
it was bang down the middle.
All right.
Just clearing the net. Sliced. Very difficult for the players, but there are lots of positives in those last 3 or 4 games of the first set. Now, if they can reproduce that kind of form in the second set, it's going to be much tighter.
It's reminding me a
It's a
little.
wake-up call, so I think,
Reminding me a
for
little bit of the
Adi and Andrea.
the match we saw yesterday with Marina Lobo and Sofia Sainz, who struggled early on, then sort of changed the strategy
Very
a little
similar,
bit
yeah.
more.
They ended that first set playing better paddle than how they started the opening set. And in that second set, there are a couple of moments, okay, they lost in straight sets, but there are a couple of moments where golden points, key points, had they have won it, we could have gone into that super tie break. So the highlights, including...
This is the winner. Oh no, is that the winner?
No, that's one of many shots.
very
One of many
similar.
shots from Adi down the middle. And I think, as I was just saying, is, well played. We've taken that first set, clean slate, fresh start. Let's play as we did at the start of the first set, and not as we did at the end of the first set.
Yeah, let's keep the focus on.
And I'd like to see, I know it's a big ask, but the Los Angeles beat. Try and play a bit more attacking. Now, of course, it's difficult if you're behind the service line to attack.
Yeah.
But try and take the net, take that gamble.
Time.
If you send a lob over, try and get forward. Now, the New York Atlantics are really thinking it's going to be over in 2 sets.
Yeah.
It's not going to be more than half an hour.
just looking
Let's
at
go
that.
and warm up.
Campagnolo and John Sanz have just gone to the warm-up court.
They are watching here the first set, and Lijo is also heading to the practice court with Heras.
Barbara Las Heras, 2-0.
So she's not been able to hold a serve yet, Barbara. Important. Once again, what's what we say, it's really important to hold. If you've lost the first set, it's really important to start the second one holding. Ooh, just clips the net. Gets away with it.
That's a great shot. Stands up well, Andrea.
Brilliant backhand
Just clip
there.
the net. Just clip the fence on her side of the court. Just didn't see it, but heard it. Just ping off the fence.
Have it? Oh,
There.
yeah. From where we're sat, that was absolutely impossible to see. Oh, awkward one for Julio Polo.
That dropped dead after hitting the side fence. Now,
30 love.
we said this earlier, but if you look at Andrea, she's left-handed. You look at Adi, she's right-handed. So both players have their stronger shot down the middle.
Yep. Another good serve.
Adi's backhand is superb. I wouldn't say it's a weaker shot than her forehand. But of course, if you're hitting a forehand smash, you're side on looking at your opponents, whereas in a backhand smash, you're not.
Good play once again, aggressive there from Polo, keeping the pressure on Ustero. 40 love. That was just the wrong side of the line. Down the middle. The wrong side of the track.
You can start singing.
Nope.
You sure?
Not yet. Oh, lovely drop shot.
Oh, there you go. They've carried that end of first set form into the start of the second set. I love that sound when they pop open a can. I'm not saying an A thinking beer. No. Can of balls, Paul. New balls. Got a few hours before we have our first beer.
I think about 12. Just the one, we're professionals.
At the end of the shift, after the shift is over, of course. And we are both over 21, if you're wondering.
Considerably.
Now look at the body language of the beat. They're laughing, they're smiling. They've come out looking very different because they're playing well.
New balls for Ali Sanchez to serve with.
New balls after 9 games. The first 9 because, of course, they count the warm-up, which they count as 2 service games. From now on, it'll be after 11 games. If we get to 11 games.
15 love, just a
15 love.
little bit deep there. Oof. She hasn't unleashed one for a while, had she? Andrea Ustero. Now we're played lovely little angle backhand volley there. Slashing backhand volley again. And once again, just rips through that service game 1-all.
Did well as well. I mean, quite close to the net. So that volley is high to low.
Julio Polo to serve.
It's one of those ones as well that just, as soon as it hits the back glass, sometimes even bounces twice before it even hits the back glass. I mean, impossible to return.
Well worked by Ustero again.
Low 15. Net, first service.
Just clips the net.
Hold.
And again, this time it's a fault though. Second serve.
All.
A play by Polo. Ali Sanchez looking to just dip that one over the net.
Making full use of those 20 seconds between points. It's really important, communication, but also It's always good to tell your doubles partner who hasn't played with you often, maybe never before, where you're looking to serve. Because of course, if the serve is down the middle, you take a more middle position. If the serve is out wide, you've got to cover your side of the court.
Good lob. Ooh, just in.
Great play by
Wow.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Straight away, before as Polo was
15
winding up,
seconds.
she was already racing forward. Look, coming up here, there. And there's the winner.
Just guides it off the top of the racket.
Now that one, Barbara should have
15-4.
Came in a bit quickly, didn't
allowed
she?
it to hit the glass.
Yeah.
Because her doubles partner, watch here, was coming across to take the shot off the glass.
Temptation is always to try and
If
play
it's
the
coming at
pass.
you,
Yeah.
the natural instinct is to hit it.
Once again, that's a decisive backhand from
Oh, that's
Ustero.
unlucky. That was unlucky. Into the tape.
Game New York Atlantic.
So there is
They
another
lead
break of
2 games
serve
to
as we go into
1.
our next break. I think they'll be very happy to get that break, Ustero and Sanchez, just to get themselves back ahead in the set.
I'm impressed, though. I have to say I'm impressed by how they've improved. We're seeing an improvement throughout this, which, okay, might not be enough to take anything from this opening game, and especially to beat the world #1 and someone who will be the future world #1. But even if they lose this in straight sets, they could still make podium day if they, get a better result in their next outing.
Exactly, they'll be back in action tomorrow. Everyone having at least 2 matches here.
And it's all about picking up points that, when it comes to the Cities Cup, they will add the men's season points, regular season points, and the women's regular season points, and the top 8 teams will qualify. Now, last year 2 teams missed out on that final event, and 2 teams will miss out again on the final event this season, Paul.
Time.
And sometimes you can miss out on that percentage when it comes to sets won and lost.
So, it's even if you lose a 2-1 defeat,
Definitely.
that might not be
Andrea
the
Ustero
end of the
to
world.
serve.
And even trying to win as many games as possible.
Which is why if you're 5-1 down, it's not worth saying that. Let's just think about the next
You've got
set.
to try and pick up as many games. That was well disguised, really well disguised.
15 love.
I think the problem is that apart from one game, Barbara and Julia Polo, they've never really been close to breaking, have they?
No,
To breaking and Ali Sanchez and
that's too short, way too short.
yeah.
Yeah, way too short. And
30 love.
I mean, Barbara did the right thing. You've got one of the players needs to dart towards the net. There we're seeing,
Yeah,
just in case, the technique isn't right or hits the back fence and slows that shot down.
It would have been very, very good if that had been.
She's hit a couple already in the match, so you can't
If that had just had another 10 centimetres
get
on
angry
it.
at Andrea for trying it again. As I say, in Spain, she's got a great muñeca, that kind of, the wrist, the control, the racket head control, disguising her shots. Now, that was the closest thing we've seen to a chancletazo. It's
40,
slightly
15.
higher than a chancletazo.
Yeah.
I wanted to say chancletazo. We've not seen any yet so
It's like
far. It's
throwing
my
your-
favourite word in paddle.
It's like throwing your flip-flop at
It is.
somebody. It's
So-
a chancleta in Spanish is a
Yeah,
flip-flop.
your chancleta is a flip-flop. So you just imagine holding your... sorry, but I'm going to describe this. So you can picture it at home. You imagine you're holding a
Game New
flip-flop
York Atlantic.
in your hand,
They
and
lead
you take
3
a
games to
swipe
1.
at something, maybe a fly. That is your chancletazo.
As opposed to another member of your family.
No,
you know.
try
Don't do that.
don't do that at home.
Don't do it anywhere.
And if you do, make sure they're not bigger than you.
You might find out it's illegal, actually.
Probably, in many states.
And countries. Well played. Once again,
15 love.
withstood Sat at his presence at the net. Just once again, could she have left that one maybe? But once again, it's just reflexes, isn't it?
Yeah, and also sometimes you're so in the point that it's volley, volley, volley. I need to volley again. You kind of forget you're playing doubles. That was
15 all.
soft. Soft point to give away.
Good high lob, really good lob. Whoa, and then just a bit awkward off the back. And it's just allowed them to once again get that net and put them under pressure and win the point.
Yeah, they're moving them around really well. They had that hiccup at the end of the first set, start of the second set, but it is just a hiccup. They're playing very well again, and they've minimised those unforced errors. I want that ball back again. Give me that ball. I want to serve with that ball. Are you superstitious, Paul? Well, I know you said that you, you wear the same top if your team win.
No, I just have it and have a few little things I do. But I wouldn't say I was superstitious. Like if I see a black cat, I don't cross the road. You know, stuff
Or
like
walk under a ladder.
I don't do that. Just out of
A lot of
common
players
sense.
are very suspicious, you know.
Or superstitious even.
30-40.
Yeah, too, also.
30-40.
Because here you've got your team kits, your team colours. But a lot of times, players, when they play elsewhere, they have their kit and they wear the same colour if they keep winning events. And if they lose, they swap and choose a different colour. You don't have to play with the same colour throughout the competitive season.
We can't do that here because each team has
You've
a
got
uniform.
your team uniforms. Richard, do you have a favourite uniform? I like the Atlantics. I like the green.
Game New York Atlantics. They lead 4
It's
games
quite
to
cool,
1.
isn't it? Once again, did that go out through the side of the court or over it that last shot?
Yeah,
Anyhow, 4-1.
Do you have an answer? Are you Miami? Big fan of the pink?
Not really, no. I'm going to have to wait until I've seen them all.
By the end of today, I'll ask you the question again.
Ask me.
I think Arkansas Matrix, I think their tops don't have shoulders, arms. I think they're like sleeveless.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. I was seeing, well, at least I was watching Gonzalo Rubio warming up.
Well,
And
warming
of
up,
course,
though.
he's got the arms for the sleeveless. It wouldn't suit me. But I do like the New York Atlantics. I actually got one from last year.
I quite like the trainer's top for the LA Beat. I might just have a little word. Under real pressure, they're 4-1 down.
But they just need to say, okay, we've come up against the favourites. The favourites, I think, to win the women's competition here in Miami. I mean, it's going to be tight. I would say they're my favourites.
Yeah.
I know you've got another. We'll see that when we come to the prediction league.
I'm going to say I think Triay and Delphi Brea are my favourites.
So that could be, depending on how these teams finish on points, they could meet in a third, fourth, or that podium to finish first or second.
Players to the court, please.
But it's still important for those who aren't favourites to get to that podium day. I mean, 12 points are a lot of points, especially if the same teams win all the events.
Not a lot you can do with that,
15
really.
love.
15 love, once again. Powerful hitting from Andrea Ustero.
But we saw last season how some teams started the regular season in great form. Miami, of course, winning the first event
15
here
all.
in Miami. You had the Smash winning event 3, beating New York Atlantics in the final last year.
Keeps it going, tries to, I just took a
That was,
nasty,
you can't get any closer
30,
without
15.
hitting the ball.
just took a nasty little touch, didn't it, off the side. 30-15.
Now that just bounced before
Heras.
the fence, so it is let. Had that have bounced off the net and onto the fence directly, bounced only once in the service box, then it's second serve. Because I know there are quite a few people who are watching paddle for the first time. Of course, a lot of people have been playing for a long time and know these players, know the rules, but we'll be doing a bit of everything, you know, for those tuning in for the first time and for more seasoned pros. Like Paul.
Sanchez serving for the game.
It was just in, I think.
It's clever from Andrea Ustero.
That's gone wide.
Disguised it, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's just one of those, I think everyone was
Game
expecting the
0
smash and she
rankings.
just
They lead
put it
5
down there.
games to 1.
Barbara
We're just,
trying it off the back.
yeah, shows how important it is to mix up your shots. If you're always going to hit a smash, your opponents prepare for the smash. If you're always going to hit a lob when you're deep, they'll always be taking 2 or 3 steps further back towards the service line to hit the volley. Great passing shot.
So great shot that. Just as they were
Love
stopping
it.
it.
Flick of the wrist, whipped it over the net.
Serving to stay in the match, Julia Polo.
Oh, door.
Blimey.
That was, yeah,
That nearly got a bit ugly, didn't it, that one?
yeah, that was,
Thumping winner.
yeah. Ustero had to duck like a boxer. Here, she
This
was
next one
off
here.
balance, getting back to her feet, and yeah.
Survival mode, wasn't it? Yep.
Oh, it did actually catch her, having seen the replay.
She just took the sting off it though with a racket. That's a good lob.
Going for a shot down the middle, but well, won the point there. Ustero
30-15.
was a bit slow getting down.
She couldn't control the return of feet though. The cheater from Polo.
Well, the biggest scoreline we've seen, or biggest winning margin so far, is a 6-2, 6-2
30
on
all.
day 1 of the competition. At the moment, it's 6-2, 5-1. That 6-2, 6-2 was Tapia and Alonso for Miami, beating Mario Huerte and Pincho Fernandez.
30 all, big pressure point here for Polo and Barbara Heras. Oh, she got that.
That's very unorthodox, and that was brilliant.
Well done. 40-30.
40-30.
Do much else, I don't think, Andrea Ustero, with that return. As you say, unorthodox. And there, Ari chasing him, but couldn't get there. That's... Ooh,
Just
got lucky, got
those ones
lucky.
you apologise, as in,
They were,
yay!
they were in real trouble there as well on that point.
Just clipping, kissing the tape, and a huge point to win, you know, 5-2.
It's a lovely, delicate shot, that.
Big shout to the DJ.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
the
good lad,
music
isn't he?
has been really good.
This is a little bit limited from what he can choose because of copyright issues, but he says, I spend hours going through it.
Well, we're seeing they're talking about those shots down the middle. Barbareras, you know, with the coach saying, you know, we've got to cover it, and also the coach saying it's a slow call. You should be reaching some of these balls that maybe we're struggling to reach. Got to anticipate. Really important to anticipate.
But that's one of the things, isn't it? You don't all quite know, if you don't play on a regular basis with your teammate, you don't quite know where they're going to be, which means you're sort of trying to maybe have half a mind on what they're going to do.
And by the time you kind of click, it's 6-2, 5-2. This camera last night was like hugely popular. Wow, that was a really good pass shot for a second. And he looked, did it go out? No, it squeezed just in before clipping the fence.
I think she almost apologised for it. I wouldn't apologise. That shot came from nowhere as well. Disguised it well, and there.
That elastic wrist that Ustero has, the way she can manoeuvre the racket behind her. Again, I mean, the return was excellent.
Certainly Polo's ball, that, but just snatches at it.
Down the middle. Good reflex volley there. There, good shout.
Oh,
they were seeing the communication. Another shot, that shot down the middle, good recovery, anticipated, and now calling, okay, we're now, but calling the shot, my ball.
Glimmer.
That's what you need.
Of a chance here.
Okay, that wasn't easy, but they're being more vocal.
30 all. Net first service.
In or out, 40-30. So we have a couple of match points here for Andrea Ustero and Ari Sanchez. Well blocked. That's a good lob as well.
Got to get close to the net, just losing that position. Might go out.
It's just long, isn't it? And there, that is the end of our opening match. 6-2. 6-2 for the New York Atlantic. Ari Sanchez and Andrea Ustero defeating Las Heras and Julia Polo in just
about an hour.
An hour and 5 minutes.
With the warm-up, we'll call it an hour.
So good start for the Atlantics.
We're going to get the interview coming up shortly, Paul.
Yeah, well done, the new signing. And that sets us up for our next match, which will be Lucas Campagnolo and John Sanz against Pablo Lijo and Álvaro Cepero.
It's going to be Arantxa and Javi, our courtside reporters, who conduct this post-match interview with the winners. Good performance. 6-2, 6-2. Probably deserve more. I don't think, taking just 4 games, what we saw from the underdogs. But I do think how they ended the match, I think they won 4 of the last 12 games, which was better than how they started the match, where they took some time to get going. But Ustero and Adi, I mean, they were excellent.
Yeah, they're good. Just they complement each other very well as well.
I'd be surprised if they make the final.
Left-handed, right-handed, yeah. They do complement each other very well, don't they? Okay. Okay, let's hear what the winners have to say.
Welcome, Wayfair Arena, and what a way to start this second day on the PPL. And we need to hear the words of the winners.
Bueno, pues un aplauso para Andrea Ustero, para Ari Sánchez. Primer partido de esta mañana. Ari, Andrea, Ari. Bueno, me habéis mezclado muy bien. Primer partido que jugabais juntas aquí en esta Pro Padel League. Has cambiado de equipo, Ari. ¿Cómo te sientes aquí en New York?
Bueno, la verdad que muy contenta de estar un año más aquí en la PPL, en Miami. Ahora este año juego con Nueva York. La verdad que un equipazo, unos cracks, muy feliz de estar en este equipo y de disfrutar esta semana con ellos.
She changed her team for this edition, but she's happy to be once again here at the PPL, and a great way to start with this win with her partner.
Bueno, Andrea, decíamos que la pista estaba lentita o que no salía tanto la bola, pero eso para ti no existe. ¿Cómo te has sentido y jugando además al lado de Ari? Cuéntame.
Bueno, pues la verdad que muy feliz de volver a jugar con Nueva York. Creo que tenemos un equipazo, así que ahora que hemos fichado a Ari, creo que es muy fácil jugar al lado suyo. Me hace que tenga confianza en todos los golpes. Y nada, yo cuando viene le pego y ya está, y que sea lo que Dios quiera. Así que nada, muy contentas y ahora animar a los chicos.
They have a great team, and the on-court communication was amazing, and it's easy when she has a partner outside.
Pues el primer partido que se lo llevan las chicas de New York. Enhorabuena, chicas. Andrea, Ustero, Ariana, Sánchez. Que no se mueva nadie porque tenemos el partido de los chicos entre estos dos mismos equipos. Hasta ahora.